Hey everybody, welcome back to Eileen's Craft Nook. I was going to do some keychains today. I was trying to think of, what could I try out. I have this really pretty paper that I got from Temu. And I thought to use some of this up. And it is just paper, they're not stickers. I would like to use them in some of these keychains. So I have this Tree Life one, these little wings, and a couple of just, stuff that I had in my stash here. So what I'm going to do first, and I wasn't sure, I might throw some of like little inclusions in them as well, just to highlight them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a base coat of clear on each one of these first. I would like to make these double-sided. So one side, like these ones, have the design in them, but keychains I like to make sure, I prefer keychains to be double-sided. So the way I do the paper, I'm going to try to make it so that it's pretty from both sides. So I'm going to get my resin mixed up, get the base coat into these, just a thin coat, and then we'll get to designing them. Okay, so the plan, let's see, I have a couple bubbles in there. My resin was bubbly the other day when I mixed this up. So I want it to be double-sided. So I want to put some pieces facing down, like so, and then I'm going to put pieces on top of it as well. And there's no rhyme or reason for how I'm putting this in here. It's just a random. I'm going to put resin in here and try this, but I just want to see what it looks like. So I'm just testing it out to see. See if I can round that out a bit. I have no clue what it looks like on the other side. Yeah, let's go with it. So let's just go with it. So I'm going to mix up my resin. And then get these done. All right, I've switched over to the voiceover because I'm wearing my mask. Whenever I use the resin, I wear my mask. So I am and I was able to speed this up because this just did take me a little while. So I'm just taking those little pieces of paper, and I'm just dipping it in the resin. I'm doing a thin layer of resin in each of the molds. So I'm just pouring some in to allow the resin to spread out while I'm working on the little round one here. And I'm just going to dip the pieces of paper in the resin. The first layer I'm facing down so that you can see it from the other side. And then on top of that, I will put them in facing up for the top half of it. Now I did notice, because it is paper, when you dip it in the resin, it kind of darkens up a little bit. You can see that from the back, how, like if you get a piece of paper wet, it's the same type of thing. If you wanted to avoid that, you probably could coat these in like a Mod Podge before you put them in the resin, like coat them and then let them fully dry. And like dry, I would say probably like at least 6 to 8 hours drying, or even overnight, and then go ahead, and that might prevent them from darkening up. I'm just adding a few of those little inclusions in here, and the paper was kind of sticking up. It was kind of floating up in spots, so I'm just using my little dotting tool here to kind of flatten it down. In the end, as it dried, it still did stick up a bit, but I did sand it down when I did my top coats. So here I'm just adding a few more inclusions to the little turtle and doing the same as I did with the circle. So I'm just going to move ahead, since you've already seen me do this, I'm going to move ahead to where I start doing the mum mold, because I did decide to do that one a bit different. Given it was so small, I didn't think the paper was going to show up in it, so I just used some little bubbles in there, which I will show you. So for the little mum mold, I had these little clear bubble things that I got from Temu. You've probably seen them on there. They're a mixture of colors, like clear with some reds, yellows, and blues. I wasn't sure if the clear ones would show, and in the end, they don't really. You can see the texture, but you can see the little colored ones in there. So it still turned out cute, and it's still what I would call double-sided, because you can see the bubbles from both sides. So that's what I ended up doing with the little mom mold. Now, for these little butterfly wings, with the texture on it, what I decided to do is to put some, it's just like a golden champagne colored mica powder. So I thought maybe that would be prettier. So I just did the bottom, based it on the bottom on top of that thin layer of resin that I had put in there. And then I go ahead and put the paper on top of this. So that's the method I use for these little wings. And it did turn out really pretty, as you'll see. All right, let's take a look to see how these turned out. I know they're going to need some cleanup, so let me grab my little snippers so we're ready to do that. All right, let's start with this one that had the little bubbles in it. I decided not to put the paper in it. It was just too small for that. So this one actually came out pretty cute, as you can see. This one, there's no cleanup to do on this one. It poured nicely. All right, and the turtle. So this one, I'm not sure why my camera's not focusing today. There. This one definitely has some cleanup on it. So you can see that part of this is matte and part is shiny. So yeah, this side, it's not completely smooth. I might have to put sand this down and put a coat on it. I'm not that pleased with this one, just because it is. But you can see on this side You can see the paper a little bit. It just actually gives it a little bit of color. All right, so I cleaned it up a little bit, but I am going to top coat. I think I'm going to coat both sides because I took my little nail file and sanded it down a bit. I'm probably going to have to do that. Yeah, see, this one's not that shiny on the side either. So again, I think I'm going to coat it. Clean it up. And there's my heart. I don't know if it's because these molds are, like at this one you can see there's a imperfection in it, and that showed up on here. Hold it down so you guys can see. I mean, I do like the papers in there, but it's probably not the best project that I've done. And I think those colors are hard to see. So there's the tree life. These are all the same, not the same pattern, but the same. That one's nice. I like that one too. You can see a little bit of that pattern behind it. And my little wings, which I only did the one, I put the mica on this one, on these. Those are pretty actually. So they have that paper on the one side, a little bit of mica on the other. I know they're tiny and a little hard to see, but I'm going to salvage these. I'm going to get them cleaned up, and then I'm going to come back and do some additional things to see what we can do to maybe salvage these. Oops. Okay, be right back. Sorry about that. My phone died on me. So what I decided to do is, and I thought it was recording and it wasn't. I took a little bit of this colored paint, which is called Sea Spray. This is just from the dollar store. And I put it on the turtle, let it dry, and just kind of wiped it back. So I'm going to top coat, and I'm going to back coat it as well. Now, the back is not, you can see it's a little, it's not even, but there's no sharp edges. I did sand it down. And I think it gives it character. There's a couple like that that just have, you know, they're just a little uneven. And I sanded these all down as well. So I'm going to top coat and bottom coat these. And I have my new markers that I got from Let's Resin. And it comes in a copper, a silver, and a gold. These are chrome markers. So this was my first time using them. You do have to prime them once you get them. And I'm not going to use the silver because the silver really doesn't go with this color. But I did take one to test it out. This is a copper one on this wing. Look how pretty that is. So I edged it. And then I just did the highlights of this one. Let me get something. That's where you can tell I primed the marker on there. Let's see if you guys can see that a little bit better. Maybe not. Look at that. So I think that's beautiful. I really like that. So I'm going to put, I can add these ones didn't have holes in them. So but I can add like a little clasp to that and make it into a nice little necklace. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to I'm just going to edge these ones, but I'm going to top and bottom coat them first before I edge them. Same with this guy. I'm going to top and bottom coat. Now for these trees, I do think they're nice. You can see that paper underneath. It just kind of just glimpses through, and I think it's gorgeous. I did sand the back. And so I'm going to back coat it again, you know, to get the sand marks out. But I thought I might try the pen. So I think I'm going to go with the copper again, because I just think that copper is kind of, won't be as bright as the gold. I'm going to try one in gold just to see what it looks like. But I'm going to take this one and outline the tree. So I don't know how well you guys can see it. I have to hold it a certain way so that I can actually see the tree to do this. So hopefully you guys are able to see it as well. But I'm just going to fill this in. So while I'm doing this, I'm actually going to, I'll throw you guys on a fast forward, because this might take me a minute, and then I'll be back to you when I'm done. Okay, I'm just going to let this dry. I like that color. I think it does go nicely with the paper that I use. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll top coat it once it's dry. So I'm just going to move that to the side. My handy dandy. If you're doing this type of thing, tweezers do come in handy. Okay, so I'm going to try the gold this time. I don't think I'm going to like the gold as much as the copper, but let's give it a shot. And again, I'm going to put you guys on a speed up while I do this. Okay, let's go ahead and get these top coated. I did let them sit and dry for a little bit. I have my UV resin. I have my Let's resin lamp that I'm going to use. So, and I have a silicone tool, sorry. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to do both sides. I'm going to do one side of it at a time, obviously. And we're just going to, and you'll notice where this is matte, because it is matte around the tree. Putting the UV resin on will take it from matte to a glossy, so you'll see that change with this mold. Okay, this one does take quite a bit of resin. And I'm going to speed you guys up, because it's going to take me a minute to get all these done. And then I will be back with you for the final results. So I'm just going to do one side, stick it under the lamp for 3 minutes, grab another piece while this is curing, stick it under the lamp. Once this is done, I'll flip it over, do the other side, and just kind of continue my assembly line that way until these are all top coated. I'm actually stealing this trick from Michelle from Glitz and Glitter. I placed my mat on top of my UV machine because what I worry about is the UV impacting the resin, UV resin I'm putting on each piece because the light's on. Everything's cured, so let me show you. Let's start with our little turtle. You can see I have, it's hard to see, but I do have like, this one's a little shell, another little shells in him, and then there's the back, little seahorse. I'll get some pictures for you guys as well. You can see that paper that I ripped up and put in there. So I think he's cute, kind of rustic looking. They're all kind of rustic looking. Now, wanted to show you, I decided not to resin the top of this one. And I want to show you the difference. Because this one has the matte finish behind the tree, which this one had as well. But because I put the UV on it, it lost that matte look. So what do you think is better? Now, which one will stand up longer in the long run? Probably this one, because I'm not sure about the chrome markers. They should stand up pretty good. They are waterproof. Because actually, I prefer this one myself. But, you can see the shadow of those papers in behind. Looks like frosted glass. And there's the backs. And I put, some of the little charms in this one. I don't think I put any in this one, no. But you can see that layered paper. I think these are really pretty, really, rustic is the right word. I'm not sure what the right word is. This one I did the same. I did the top and the bottom. Vintage, that's the word I'm thinking of, vintage. Very vintagey. Here's this one. I just think those papers are real pretty. And this one was just the circle. Now my little wings, I did not top coat these. I liked them with the texture, so I left them as is. And again, I think these are so pretty. They would make really nice. I'm missing one. He ran away on me. Not sure where he went to. For necklaces and stuff. I didn't do any of these for you guys. If you want to see me turn them into keychains or necklaces, I can do that. I just wanted to get this video out, so I didn't take the time to add the hardware to these. But these are so cute. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, appreciate it if you take the time to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.